Welcome to Tally Ho, we are the carnival. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I just moved into this place, and this new place has this amazing study. Anyway, I feel like since it's spooky month, we're gonna be doing a Spongebob Creepypasta Tierlist, as it's a fairly interesting topic, so we will be going over 15 entries, technically 11, but you'll see why later. Anyways, so we're gonna start off with Squidward Suicide. Stripping away the classicness of this story, I feel like it's pretty poorly written. Like, yeah, the whole thing about, you know, everybody turning against him, bloodshot red eyes, it would be good without that, and maybe even B tier. However, what I do feel like subtracts from it is, two key things. One of those being just randomly flashing kid gore. I feel like that's just there for, shock factor. And two, I feel like the whole, it felt like it was in real life, and it felt like it's just bleeding through the screen. I feel like that's just kind of stupid, so I'm gonna put it in C tier. C tier, of course, being for all right stories. Now, next up, we have Plankton Gets Served. Now, I do think having this being taking place on the Nickelodeon website makes it particularly interesting and stuff, as a little deleted scene. However, if you frame it like a deleted scene, it's really interesting. Though I just feel like, it does lack believability with all the whole heaven and whales shit, so it's gonna go above Squidward Suicide at a B tier, which is for solid stories. Next up, we have 72505. Now, glitches are cool and stuff. However, they're not particularly scary. I mean, the floating void scene, yeah, cool. But, it just seems, I don't know, lacking. So we're not going to put it in D tier for lacking story, but we are going to put it for C tier for an alright story, because at least it keeps my attention for it. So, now we're going to go and get into the Patrick's Diabetes saga. I'm going to really be ranking the 4 parts separately, so we can go and break them down, because, in the story, 4 different parts, so, let's start. Patrick's Diabetes Part 1, I feel like this is a great setup. Like, on its own, not that very good, but if you know that is a start to something, it stands out good, so I'm gonna put it in A tier for a great story. Next we have Patrick's Diabetes Part 2. And, well, while I did like the whole send-off for Patrick and the hospital scene, the whole Mr. Krabs and Sandy shit, I do feel like the whole Patrick's body degrading thing brings it down, and Squidward acting uncharacteristic, so B tier, the writing is still there. Next we got to something that pisses me the fuck off. The OG ending, the zombie ending. I fucking hate this with a burning passion. It is gonna go below D tier for lacking stories. It's gonna go to F tier, which is reserved for only absolute fucking garbage stories. Next up, we have the better ending. The new ending, which, I feel like it does it well. And I'm going to put it in S tier for fucking amazing stories. It hits you in the feels, and, it just hits hard. I'm not gonna lie. Now that we're halfway through this, I would like to remind you that if you get curious on what the hell I'm talking about, make sure to research the original pastas. Anyways, next up being Bootleg Spongebob. I do find the whole framing of it interesting, but kind of tropey, as in, finding a whole haunted tape behind an alley, but at the same time, the whole idea of SpongeBob staring at you and then you being cursed is kind of like a fun take on The Ring, and I do like that. So, I'm gonna say B tier, solid story. Lies, F tier. I don't even need to say it, it's just tropes galore. It's so bad it's good. Like, everything that comes out of Lies is better than Lies itself. You'll now incur the wrath of Spongebob! How can I take something with that in it seriously? Next we have the 666 incident, or the 060606. You know, while it's, you know, I feel like it's good. I honestly feel like it's good. The whole SpongeBob burning image goes hard. And the whole, this being a hijacking by somebody who has been wronged by Steven Hillenburg, I like it, and this is going into A tier. And if it seems like I'm being a bit too generous with this, it's just, well, I mean, I'm not ranking these about how much they scare me, it's about how interested I got while listening to it. We're gonna go and put Faceless in C tier. Like, it's just basically, why do they not have faces? Chase scene with Squidward. Oh my god, hyper-realistic. Doctor scene. You know, it's just, while the whole premise of, oh, they don't have faces and shit is interesting, I don't feel like it's good enough to carry the whole story. I feel like if a bit more happened, this could easily go into A tier, but we're gonna move on. The Nickelodeon Resignation incident. Now, I'm putting this in A tier. I'm not gonna lie, because, like, hear me out. This feels realistic. This thing, incredibly interesting. The whole, I feel like sabotaging the whole sponge marathon thing, really interesting. It could scare some kids. I'm gonna move it up, actually, because I just find employee breakdowns, unfortunately, very fucking interesting setup for a story. So, yeah, S tier. Next up, we have Cataclysm. Oh my god. I'm gonna tell y'all the spooking and exciting story of capitalism. I mean, Cataclysm. Yeah, SpongeBob Capitalism. What the hell? SpongeBob Cataclysm takes place in an episode called Cataclysm. In it, Gary has a seizure! The end. Yeah, that's it. It's a nothing story. Like, yeah, it's scary for a kid's show, but at the same time, you know, that's... Gary having a seizure is not enough to go in... You know, it's not enough to carry the story. I'm sorry. So it's going into D tier for lacking stories. Moving on, sadness. Now, if I'm gonna give you a hint, if you go and frame a lost episode pasta as finding it off a pirating website, it's going to automatically get brownie points from me. So with that being said, I like the framing of this. Okay, it's a solid story, but I feel like the end kind of trails off for me. However, I do feel like the whole thing about a well-meaning brother bumps it up a bit, so A tier. It's going into A tier. And we actually just blazed through all that. We are at my final thing, which I had just read today. You are not alone. Now, oh my god, it's gonna go and get bumped down for the whole, oh yeah, I got a bracelet sent in the mail made of human teeth and dried blood, but that's a story for a different day. Like, you're just gonna drop that on me and expect me not to have questions? Well, what this does pick up as is, though, the whole fear of getting your shit leaked and somebody sending you some weird shit, just knowing where you are and leaking your shit, S tier. I like it. Like, and this is all just my subjective opinion, okay? You don't have to agree with it. I just feel like I don't get scared by creepypastas, really. I just rate it by how interested I was during the story and how much of my attention it could retain. So, this is my version of the SpongeBob last episode creepypasta. The next video should be out tomorrow or September. Or not September, November. Yeah, it's gonna be out in November. So yeah, this is Gale Basie, and I am going to be leaving you with this amazing spooky month tier list. Good day.